Good evening. Tonight's lesson you're going to learn about polygons and the coordinate plane. Well, what is the coordinate plane, you ask? Well, here is what a coordinate plane looks like. We have two axes, which are just number lines that are crisscross, and our number lines are labeled the x-axis and the y-axis. So this horizontal line is the x-axis, and then this vertical line is your y-axis. And your coordinate plane is divided up into 4 quadrants. Today, we are only worried about this first quadrant. Next chapter, we're going to talk a little bit more about the second, third, and fourth quadrant. But for today, we're only worried about the first quadrant. What's really important to remember about the coordinate plane is your ordered pairs that we plot are in the form x, comma, y. So that means that when I'm plotting a point, I'm going to plot the x and then I'm going to go to y. So I have to move to the x and then go up to the y. So your movements that you're going to make, and this, like I said, this is just for quadrant 1 today. So your movements today are going to be right and then up. And then you're going to plot your point. So right and then up and then plot your point. Next chapter we'll talk about when you go left and when you go down as well. So let's do this first example. Since the vertices of a quadrilateral are those ordered pairs listed, draw the quadrilateral in a coordinate plane. Well, this, as I said, we're only worried about quadrant 1 because all of our ordered pairs are positive. So these are all my positive ordered pairs in quadrant 1. The first thing I'm going to say is label x and label y. It's important that you label your x and y axes. And then let's label our axes. Let's number them so we at least have an idea where our numbers are, so I don't have to recount every time. So I'm just counting by 2s, and I'll count by 2s on the y-axis as well. And then this right here in the middle, that's 0. Okay, so let's begin to plot our points. The first point we need to plot is A, which is 2, 4. So I'm going to go over to the right 2, and then up to 4, and then plot my point. So then that is A, and that's 2, 4. Okay, and I'm going to check that one off. Next one is B, which is 3, 9. So that means I'm going to go over to the right 3 and then up to 9, which 3 is in between 2 and 4, 9 is in between 8 and 10. So that's B, and that is 3, 9. That one's done. Now we're on C, which is 7, 8. So I'm going to go over 7 first and then up to 8. See, what's really nice about having these numbers is they don't have to count each time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then there's C, which is 7, 8. And D, which is 8, 1. So over 8 and up 1. Now I can connect those dots to form the quadrilateral. And you probably should use a straight edge. Connect them as nice and neat as you can. And there is your quadrilateral that is plotted in the first quadrant of the coordinate plane. Go ahead and take a moment and pause and try the next 2 on your own questions. And come back. Welcome back. Okay, for example 2, we're going to plot some more points, but this time it says draw the rectangle in a coordinate plane and find its perimeter. Well, let's review what perimeter is. The perimeter is the distance around an object. So for example, if I have this rectangle and those are my dimensions, my perimeter is 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1, so it is 6 units. And with perimeter, we don't have 2 dimensions. We're not multiplying 2 dimensions together. So it's just 2 units. 2 units plus 1 unit plus 2 units plus 1 units, just like combining like terms. it stays units and we don't square it. So first things first, let's label our x and our y axis so we know where we're going. And we're going to give us some numbers on the bottom. Up to 10 is usually sufficient. But you want to look at your numbers and make sure that you don't need anything higher than 10. So my first point is 1, 6. So I'm going to go over 1 and I'm going to go up to 6 and plot my point. And then I have G, which is 7, 6 over 7, up 6 over 7, up 6. I plotted that wrong point, so right here, let's put an X there. Okay, and then H is over 7 and up 2. And J is over 1 and up 2. And it says draw the rectangle, so now we have to connect our dots in rectangle form. And then there's my rectangle. Now, we talked about it in class today, how we could find the distance between one point to another without actually counting up the spaces between. Because what we've done up until now is we've gone, okay, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's another way that we can do this. If we're looking at this side, remember, the 1's are the same in the x coordinate. So I can just go 6 minus 2 is 4. Same thing over here. 7's are the same, so I can just do 6 minus 2 is 4, which is the same thing we got when we actually counted our tick marks. And then for my horizontal lines, my 6's are the same, so I can do 7 minus 1 equals 6. And my 2's are the same, so 7 minus 1 equals 6. That gives me the 4 sides of my rectangle. So I have a 4, a 4, a 6, and a 6. All I have to do is add all of those up. So 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 6 will give me 20 units. And remember, we don't want to square those. Okay, let's look at the next example. It's the same type of example as the last one, but let's get a little bit better at it. So I have the perimeter that I need to find. So remember, first off, we're going to label our x-axis and our y-axis, because remember, this is the way we get to our location. This is the directions, x first and then y. So I'm going to label my numbers on the bottom, skipping a line every time. And then we're going to plot our point. So our first one is R, which is over 2 and up 8. Our next one is S, which is over 5 and up 8. And our next one, T, over 5, up 1. And our last one is U, which is over 2 and up 1. Once again, it says we're forming a rectangle. So let's draw our straight vertical lines, connecting those two, and then our horizontal lines, connecting our other ordered pairs. And then let's find the distance without counting and using our tick marks. So looking at the distance from this ordered pair to this ordered pair, this is 8, this is 1, so 8 minus 1 will give you 7. Looking at this ordered pair and this ordered pair, 8 minus 1 will give you 7. Looking at this R and this S, I have 2 to 5, where 5 minus 2 is 3. And looking from U to T, 5 to 2 is 3. So then I can add all those up. This is 7, this side is 7, this side is 3, this side is 3. Adding them all up for my perimeter, I get 14 plus 6 is 20 units for my perimeter. Okay, for our last example, it says, in a grid of the exhibits at a zoo, the vertices of the giraffe exhibit are those 4 ordered pairs. The coordinates are measured in feet. So now instead of units, we actually have a unit that we're worried about. What is the area of the giraffe exhibit? Well, it doesn't tell us what kind of quadrilateral we're going to get or if we're even going to get a triangle. But you know that you're not going to get a triangle because you have 4 vertices. Triangles only have 3 vertices, so you're going to get a quadrilateral. Okay, so first off, let's label our X and let's label our Y. Now, before we start just putting our 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, we need to really look at our ordered pairs. You're probably saying, wow, Mrs. Nichols, I don't have enough room to count all the way up to 100, going 2, 4, 6, 8. Well, the nice part is you have control over what you count by. So before we were counting by ones, really, but we were, 2, 4, 6, 8, but each little hash mark represented 1. Well, this time it can't because I don't have enough squares to go, and that would just really take a long time, and I would need a pretty big sheet of paper. So what I want to do is, if you notice, they're all going by multiples of 10, and it only goes up to 100. So I'm thinking I could probably count by 10s. So if I count by 10s, I'm going to do the same thing I did before, but I'm going to just put 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. And notice each hash mark now represents 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, on and on. Okay, and this is 0. So once again, I'm going to have 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. Okay, so now we're all set. We've got our X and our Y. We've got our grid labeled, so let's plot our points. So the first one is 0, 90. Well, 0 means I don't go to the right at all. So that means I'm going to stay right here on this y-axis, and I'm just going to go up. I'm going to go up to 90 and plot my point. So remember, whenever you have a 0, that means you stay and then you do the next movement. So then I have F is 60, 90. So I'm going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and all the way up to 90 and plot my point. Okay, and then I've got 130. So over 100, up 30. And my last one is 0, 30. So over 0, up 30. Now, when you connect your dots, you're going to get a trapezoid. Take a moment and pause the video, and I want you to see if you can find the area of this trapezoid right now on your own. We have done this several times. Okay, so I know I need the base and the height and the other base. So my height is 90 minus 30, which is 60. My base 1 is 100 minus 0, which is 100. And my base 2 is 60 minus 0, which is 60. So now I can plug those into my area formula. And I can get 60, which is my height, times base 1 plus base 2, all over 2. Simplify that, and 2 goes into here 30 times. And I get 30 times 160. If I do 16 times 3, I get 48. And then all I have to do is add my 2 zeros. So I get 4,800 feet squared. Okay, take a moment, answer the rest of those on your own questions, and then make sure at the very bottom, ask a question for class. Have a good night.